How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all having an amazing day. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 different money makers in old school RuneScape. From one with no requirements to one where if the price is right, you can make over 1 million gold per hour. I'm also going to revisit my personal favorite passive range training money maker to see if it still holds up. I've got a lot to go over here, so if this video helps you out at all, then help me out by hitting that like button. But let's go ahead and cut this plug and get right into it. We have my personal favorite money making method to go over, which is aviances in the wilderness. Unfortunately though, these have recently received a huge nerf. Ecumenical keys, which were a big part of this moneymaker, are no longer high alchable. But to be fair, I have been doing these avians since before 2007 turned into EOC. That was back when the avians in the God Wars dungeon dropped noted bars without requiring an achievement diary, and they are always a solid passive moneymaker in my opinion because the noted adamant bars. And to avoid the diary requirement that you have to have nowadays, we just have had to move our operations into the wilderness, and I'm going to see how much we can make in an hour at the wilderness avians post nerf. Our inventory here is 3 divine ranging potions, 1 stamina potion, 14 blighted restores, 7 monkfish, 2,000 broad bolts, and 100 nature runes. For your gear, you're going to need a piece of armadillo equipment. I use an armadillo kite shield, a piece of Zamorak equipment, and a piece of Saradomin equipment. You're going to want to use your burning amulet to teleport to the bandits and then head north into this cave where all of the magic happens. By the end of the hour, I used up 3 divine ranging potions, 1 stamina potion, 9 blighted restore potions, 7 monkfish, 313 broad bolts, and 12 nature runes for a total cost in gear of 97,000 gold. The looting bag was filled up with 397,000 gold worth of loot, and I had 57,000 gold in alchs, so we were looking at a total profit of 454,000 gold. After we subtract our costs, we are looking at a net profit of 357,000 gold and 50,000-ish range experience, which to me still holds up as a pretty good spot to train and make some money. I am going to start off with a weird one here that I found when I was looking for places to cannon train my pures. This method is cannoning moss giants in the wilderness. This can be a bit risky and is technically a 2-step moneymaker, meaning that the real money comes from killing the moss giant boss with the mossy keys that you get from here. But there are some things that you can do to minimize your risk. I'll explain those shortly after I go over the basics of this method. Moss giants drop mossy keys at a rate of 1 in 150, except when you are in the wilderness, which changes the drop rate to 1 in 60. Unfortunately though, there is only one spot in the wilderness with moss giants, and it is right here next to the Revenant Cave teleport. This is single way combat, so you have to find a spot to stand where moss giants will not end up hitting you, and I chose to stand right here by this stump, which is in multi-combat and honestly cannot be the best spot to stand, so feel free to find a spot for yourself out here. And honestly, that's about it. You kill the giants, collect the keys, rinse, and repeat. Some ways that you could minimize the risk is by bringing a very small amount of cannonballs out. You can bank and get back to your cannon so fast that you could technically just bring 30 cannonballs out and run to the bank and back and bring back 30 and refill and run to the bank and back, right? That would really burn through stamina potions though, which would eat up your profit. So I would suggest around 300 cannonballs or so per inventory. I personally spent an entire hour here and I used 1,804 cannonballs, 2 stamina potions, and 4 revenant teleports for a total cost of 350,000 gold. Over the hour, not counting the herbs and seeds, I was able to get 10 mossy keys, which on average are around 70,000 gold each. That of course is heavily dependent on your RNG though, which is why this one is in the beginning of this video. Regardless though, you'll be looking at around 300 to 350,000 gold profit per hour here via the mossy keys and the seeds and herbs and whatnot. The next method I'm going to go over has no requirements and is one that you could optimize so much better than I did, and it is collecting king worms in the tree gnome stronghold. I do not have a reusable teleport to the bottom of this tree here, which would be an absolute game changer for this method, but even without that, I was able to collect 217 worms in 20 minutes, and I ended up using 3 stamina potions. This would math out to around 651 king worms per hour and 9 stamina potions being used per hour. Selling the worms at 355 gold each, we are looking at around 230,000 gold made, and after the cost of stamina potions, we are looking at right around 170,000 gold profit per hour. This, of course, could be more if you have the teleport to cut back on how many stamina potions you use, and you could also probably pick up more worms per hour using that method. Nothing too insane, but for no requirements, it's actually not too bad. Next, we are going to go over a method that is very much so market dependent. It requires some gold to start, but before you even do anything, you need to check the margins first. This is buying rock throne hammers from Slayer Masters. If the margin is right on these, you can make some insane money doing this. Starting with exactly 10 million gold, I spent only 10 minutes hopping worlds, trading a Slayer Master, and I spent a total of 1,855,215 gold, and I got 8,450 rock throne hammers. They start at 200 gold each in the shop and work their way up to 239 gold each after buying the last set of 50, and I was buying 200 of them per world. When it came to selling these, like I said, this is entirely market dependent. I was able to sell 500 of them at 280 gold, which is actually unbelievable when it comes to how much you would make doing that. But for the rest of them, I had to sell them at 238 gold each, which is definitely more reasonable. I would classify that as more of an average margin there. If you really wanted to squeeze money out of this, though, you would only buy 150 per world, but I was technically buying 200 per world, which probably cut into my profit a bit here. Regardless, even if we ignore the 500 I was lucky to sell at 280 each and just run our math here at selling 8,450 rock throne hammers at 238 gold each, we are looking at turning 1.8 million gold into 2,011,000 gold for a total profit of 155,000 gold in 10 minutes. This would be 930,000 gold profit per hour after you were able to sell the hammers, which is an absolutely wild return on investment. And I say investment because you will need a lot of money in the bank to even do this consistently for an hour, but this is definitely one to keep your eye on. Those were all of the methods that I wanted to go over in this video, though. Be sure to comment down below and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Let me know if you're going to be trying any of them out that you've never tried before, but other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day. I'm out.